Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm going to run this game so much in 2020.
It looks amazing. It's so you're the good guy, weirdly, as well.
Yeah.
I was reading through it. I was like, oh, you're kind of like not a monster. Like you are, but you're not. It's cool.
You're so misunderstood.
Yes. Yep. So enthused after reading this thing today. I'm like, ah. So I wrote this string of words earlier when I read through it, and it says, architect of sacred and strange geometries. It's like the first thing that came to my brain when I was reading through it. I would like to set in motion the beginnings of a plan. Architect to me is not only of like literal buildings, but also of like plans and schemes and things like that. So like to set the groundwork for some great work.
A priest like Arisen that seeks to maintain the balance between light and dark, life and death.
The priest of balance.
It's also kind of like horrifying to think what a ancient alien mummy considers necessary to make balance. You know, like already that seems really cool to me that you could be like, well, if we just kill all these people.
You could think like, listen, we need to destroy the stock market. We need to make everything plummet and cause a depression and get people to starve. So would you want to double down on necromancer?
That would be awesome to explore.
So I have 4 intelligence, 2 wits, and 2 resolve.
I have 3 intelligence, 3 in wit, and 2 in resolve.
We are 2 dweeby mummies. We don't get in the fight.
Nerds.
When I could pull a damn star out of the sky.
Yeah.
I know.
Punch a guy. Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to get into the nitty gritty. Like, why is tertiary third? Is that just what that word means? Tertiary? Does that mean like third?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to keep it. I think it might be useful to know how to interact with people who are from a different millennium.
A cult. That's always good.
I feel like you have to know some occult if you're a mummy. You know?
If you're participating in the Chronicles of Darkness at all, you really have to. It's nice.
Yeah,
it's nice
it
to dabble.
Take an elective when you're in college, just in occult, you know.
It's liberal arts. It's kind of like the occult.
It's like doing a little coding here and there, you know.
Yeah, I'm taking architecture because I want to be an architect. Spanish because I need that language, and occult. You know, it's the basic elective.
And I have 3 in weaponry because I feel like I want a glaive.
I feel like I want a glaive.
Mac and cheese?
And some mac and cheese.
Can't go wrong with mac and cheese.
There's nothing wrong with mac and cheese.
No, correct. Do you think that augury is, or not augury, what's it called when you pull out the guts? It's something fancy.
Augury.
Augury, I think, is the birds flying.
Augurs?
Where you pull out the guts on the altar.
I think that's the birds. Is augury.
I think that's bones.
I'm going to look it up.
Yeah.
Anthropomancy is the reading by entrails.
Oh, baby. Wow. So I feel it comes from the Etruscans, right?
I feel like reading guts has been around for like a long time.
Yeah.
Like forever, maybe. These people are so amazing.
Listen, like, you might play one of them if you want. You could be like, I was an Etruscan, bro.
So then do you think that skill is medicine or occult?
I would say occult based on how reading entrails.
Wondering if the argument of like you need to know what you're doing to safely, but usefully pull guts out of someone. But I think occult makes more sense.
I don't think they care about the format really. I think they're just cutting open the animal. Love that.
And then I'm going to go with intimidation. Oh, don't mess with me.
With blades and weaponry.
Nice. Blades.
Maybe astrology.
That's really cool. Yeah, reading the stars, scrying the stars, sort of, so to speak.
Yeah. Understand the movement of the universe.
Okay, so next we're actually going to dive into something that's a bit new in Mummy the Curse 2nd edition.
For my balance, I want just, and for my burden, I want cruel.
That makes sense. So I think I'm going to go with diligent and either resentful or hysterical. I'm not sure which is more fun.
Are you the kind of person who, when one of your carefully laid plans changes, you plot and scheme to get back at the person who was responsible? Or are you the type of person to flip the table with the blueprints on them and scatter the ashes once the whole building is burned to the ground?
I'm going to go with diligent and hysterical.
It's a very Lloyd-like character.
It helps to know that it's, we're going to do a one shot here. It's one game.
Yes.
And so it's like, I want to be fucking hysterical.
Yep. Be a maniac for a little bit.
Except for vampire, you're just a monster all the way around.
Yeah.
Just a blood-sucking fiend. Yeah.
Yep.
No
it's
reconciling it.
It's the most direct one. This one seems like a really different kind of tragedy,
So these are basically like living or once living objects, like animal skins, or insects preserved in amber, mummified body parts.
Perhaps an eyeball.
Absolutely, perhaps an eyeball.
On a Sunday, late stage capitalism. Am I right?
Blazing zeal, fated soul, flesh-cold secrets by the speediest means available to them. They'll hop on a train away from you. If there is one available. The spiders of fate. These are the new pharaohs, the architects, the geomancers, guardian statue, model lifeweb, nest of dolls.
I want to know about Nest of Dolls. Hideous, frightening name for a thing.
The Arisen crafts a small wooden vessel into which it places painted clay dolls representing each of your inheritors and Sadiq. These are the people who work alongside you and worship you. You may spend a willpower point to speak through that individual. In doing so, you may activate in any utterance through that vessel.
So cool.
Dope.
They're just going with their business and then they're like, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
You talk
Yeah,
through
exactly.
them. It's so cool. It's also such a great device for role play. It's you can just next to all your followers, you pick one up and think about it and talk through it and that's so cool.
We're going to pick one of the 5 decrees for your Arisen character.
I think I dig that.
I'm going to cut that and I'm going to place it after something where there's some sort of silence, just any other part of the video. You're just going to jump in and say, I think I dig that. And I'm going to, yep. Sorry.
I am a soundbite. Unflinching guardians and wise occultists. I think that fits.
Making monuments and that there is hubris in that, and that maybe these things that the modern people have made is disrespectful in some ways to it's these monuments are beyond what they should be making, and this is not allowed.
Who has the lower defense? Lloyd's face.
I have 2. I do not feel good about that.
Mummies can have their tongues ripped out, be exposed to the scouring sands of Mars, or have their mouths filled with molten lead. Oh, yeah. I dig that quite a bit.
I encourage everyone to click on the Kickstarter link below if the Kickstarter is still going and jump over to Mummy the Curse 2nd Edition. Back it. You'll get manuscripts from the developers and be able to leave comments and give feedback, and it's invaluable feedback.
I thought it might be cool if we were twins or something, or a couple that were buried together or entombed together.
The twins idea was intriguing, but if we're also a couple, that would be also doable.
I mean,
I think
in Egypt it could be both.
Would it be pertinent character-wise if we don't exactly remember?
Guaranteed you won't.
Love this.
Nice.
That's the correct response.
Yeah, it's great.
Sanu Hakij. Darkness. Only darkness.
Only darkness.
Not like the darkness before. Actually, compared to that, this darkness seems blindingly light. You hear it starts to build in volume. You feel where before there was nothing, now there's life. You grasp the air with your lungs. You can't keep your arms to yourself as you tear away at these dried linens. You taste pungent, very pungent thing inside of your mouth, and you reach in and you pull from underneath your tongue a glob of incense. Your eyes are blurry, your vision is blurry, but you see engravings on the inside of this sarcophagus.
I've got 2 successes.
The stone slab slides. You rise, and the flesh peels off of your back, sticking to the bottom of the coffin. You tear away from your fusion to the stone, epoch-long fusion to the stone, leaving shards of bone and flesh behind. The light is blinding bright. You sit up, and your blurred vision begins to acclimate to the surroundings.
I love you. I love you.
I love you too.
And you hear a boy that says, "I love you." You look at the area around you, and you see a brightly lit room. This is not torchlight. There's something here. There's something buzzing above you. Underneath the fluorescent glow, you rise out of the sarcophagus. You look over through these panes of glass. Your Kepher, your ability to sense vessels, relics, Sekhem vessels everywhere is off the charts. You see everywhere. There are relics all around you. You see through the glass a small boy. Sort of looks like the one to your left. The ice cream topples off of his cone as he stares at you. Behind him, a balding father. Mother of God. Behind him, his wife. Her eyes fall upon you, and she lets out a startling shriek.